Ceres Solutions is continuing to provide resources and information for their customers interested in adding cover crops to their operation. So the company recently held an advanced cover crop training event over at the Beck Agricultural Center. So for today's Indiana Farm Report, I spoke to a Hoosier farmer about how he's implemented cover crops on his farm and some of the benefits they provided.
Vermilion County farmer Carter Morgan has seen an increase in the amount of people interested in adding cover crops to their operation.
I do get a lot of questions from even guys that don't apply cover crops. So there's always the intriguing factor right now. It's just a matter of whether guys want to try something different or not.
And trying something different was exactly what they did on Morgan's family farm a few years ago. And because of that, he recently spoke at the Advanced Cover Crop Training Day hosted by Ceres Solutions.
I can help others minimize mistakes because we've either made a mistake ourselves or I know someone else that has made a certain mistake. So it can just kind of help peer-to-peer education.
Cena Parks with Ceres Solutions says that event provided more information and resources about cover crops.
We're focusing on cover crop training and just giving them the tools for what cover crops make sense for after corn or after soybeans, helping them with termination and what herbicides make sense, and also helping them to figure out how to continue to manage their crop nutrition and their nitrogen while they're adding these cover crops and making these changes.
For Morgan, he's seen a lot of benefits from cover crops. One of the main reasons they started using them back in 2011 was to minimize erosion.
We've got some rolling soils and we really wanted our soil to stay in place because we know there's value in that and nutrients and chemicals that are in the top. So we wanted to keep those in place. Once we learned that we kept that soil in place, another benefit that we noticed was we had minimized our weed pressures in our fields.
And because of that, they were able to minimize their herbicide use in some fields.
Also, within all that, we started noticing that the water was going into the ground as opposed to running off the ground when we would get a rain. Or if we did get a big enough rain, the water leaving our farm was clear as opposed to muddy.
If you're considering adding cover crops, Morgan says it's not a bad idea to talk with somebody who's already using them.
As I've helped guys, we've noticed that if farmers have success the first time, then they will continue to add on top of that. But if they have a failure the first time, it really shuns them from wanting to add or expand what they're doing.
So for those interested in maybe adding cover crops, Morgan does recommend starting with a small area of land and maybe using your worst acres first. And Park says when farmers consider adding cover crops, cost comes to mind. So she says part of her job is to help Ceres customers find solutions to offset some of those costs if they do want to try out a new practice.